I thought they were clever, but they're more clever than I thought. That one. Oh!
We've seen carp and bream tricked on our best feeder rigs.
Oh, brilliant. Look at that. That's another example of something we won't be showing the public.
We've watched F1s and carp hooked on the pole.
That's the big one.
Yes! For this underwater, we are drifting away from the lake bed to test our best shallow fishing tactics on some of the cutest F1s we could find. Bennett, Ringer and myself are all lost for words at what's going on just beneath the surface.
Oh, give a bite then.
4 fish have had them in the mouth already this drop.
Some of the best footage I've ever seen. Would a single maggot be better?
Tiger
Side hook,
maggot.
would a banded maggot?
What happens if it's casters?
Yeah.
Welcome to Guru's Underwater 5, Shallow.
Half time, swap the box.
This is definitely a thing. You got to get jiggy with it, brother.
Yes! You got the blondie!
Ringer, you need to stop being so positive.
Here are the boys. Excited?
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
Welcome back to Weston for something, I think that's the one with sugar in, very, very different.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm excited, mate. Shallow fishing on the pole, never seen it underwater. It's obviously a method in the summer that wins loads of matches, and there's so many variables to go through. So yeah, I'm buzzing for this one.
What do you think, Steve? We're going to get this?
I think we're going to get it, but I think it's going to be difficult. Them F1s, they're not as easy as people think. People call it hook a duck. We're going to open people's eyes and they're going to see it's anything but. But that's the exciting part, because I do believe there will be a way.
Well, we've got the main man on the box for it, and we've got time for a break, yeah?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, let's get fueled up and then we'll get going.
Shallow fishing probably wins more commercial matches, especially in the spring, summer, than any other technique of fishing. And I half think that we feel this shoot's going to be a short one. We'll get a few fish feeding shallow, we'll smash it out the bag, but there's so many variables to shallow fishing. Normal fixed rig, overshotted rigs, jiggers, lifting, dropping, different size like, I can already see this disappearing into a very complex maze.
All fish, I believe, sit off the bottom and they only actually go down to the bottom when they're hungry and they're following bait down. So they go down to the bottom to feed. They don't swim on the bottom with the bellies on the bottom, do you know what I mean? So it's a method that is so important, because when them fish don't want to go down, they'll intercept it on the way through, and it's just working out what depth they're intercepting it, and that all comes down to how deep the lake is. You know, some places you'll catch really shallow. In the height of summer you can catch as shallow as say 6 inches deep, but there's times as well when you might need to fish 4 or 5 foot deep on deeper venues.
My experience of F1s is they're not easy. People think they are easy. It's a massive misconception. So I'm expecting to see a fish that's really clever, going to get away with it a lot. I remember when I used to do a lot of shallow fishing for F1s at places like Tunnel Barn, you miss a lot of bites. Are they bites? Are they liners? It's going to be interesting to find out.
With plenty of lakes to choose from at Weston Pools, we were spoilt for choice, but there's only one thing that matters: clarity. After a look around the whole site, our eyes fell back on a familiar water, the Claypit, a deep lake with shallow margins and a massive head of big F1s. What more could we ask for? We located the camera 11 metres out in a depth of 12 feet, with the camera set just 4 foot below the surface. When we first come up with the idea of filming shallow fishing underwater, everyone was buzzing. However, when it comes to getting the kit and the camera rigged up for it, there's a lot of hurdles.
Another recce of Guru's Underwater underway, folks. Might recognise this place. We're going to drop some lenses in and see what's possible.
Normally it's nice and easy on the bottom. Yeah, it's a complicated piece of kit, but once it's in place, you're sliding. However, when you're shallow fishing, all that has to be suspended under the water. So the team built this incredible rig that would allow us to position the camera anywhere in the water column, so we could fish whatever depth we wanted to.
We saw the brains behind some of the latest innovations here. You know, the chaps that have been working on carp water, that are used to working with these hard materials. We put them to work alongside our managing director, Damien Clark, who took specific interest in this because of the uniqueness of the project. And they came up with essentially what you saw in the film.
But then there's the challenge of the clay pit where the bottom is sloping away from you. So getting that whole rig sort of 12, 13 foot of the thing in position and actually making it stable, it was a lot of hands on deck. And I've got to be honest, without the divers and without a seriously strong crew, we wouldn't have been able to do it.
Of course, we decided to go on the clay pit, the deepest, slopiest, darkest lake of them all. Thankfully, Callum and Liam managed to deploy the rig successfully, supporting the base with bricks, roof tiles and anything else they could conjure just to give it a supportive base. It was a hell of an effort, but they pulled it off, the rig was stable, successfully deployed with the camera 4 foot under the surface. It was just a matter of if the fish came in. Well, they came out of the water, 15 minutes later, fish in front of the camera, happy days.
When it comes to shallow fishing, one of the biggest factors is that you have to have the fish competing. The higher the fish sit in the water depends how hungry they are basically. So if you've got a lot of fish, the fish generally come shallower, and if there's not so many fish and they're not competing, they'll let it go past them, they'll fall it down to the bottom. So as a general rule, in the summer months, I always like to give it say 30 minutes, but in the sort of spring, autumn time, sometimes it might take an hour for them fish to start to compete, and then obviously you've got to find what depth they're at, and that can change throughout the day. The more fish that you have in the peg, generally the higher up in the water they'll come.
There's plenty there now, mate.
You want to have a look?
I think you've got to. What are you saying?
I'm not saying it's black, but there's enough fish there to think you get a bite. Is this the normal time you'd leave it before you go on it?
Yeah, I mean, what we've been feeding that 40 minutes, I think for this time of the year, that's a good sort of amount of time to leave it before I have my first look. Obviously in the summer it'd be a little bit quicker. My starting rig has always been a nice little light on the drop rig, and this basically consists of our pink girder elastic, 017 mainline. I have a couple of back shots. That's really important when you're fishing with light floats because they can sort of drift about a little bit, so then back shots just help keep it pinned down from riding up in the water. The float itself, I go for the lightest pattern. I've got the slim maggot in 0.15 of a gram, which will basically just have a tapered, strung out shotting pattern of 5 number 11s, 017 mainline, 011 to a 16s F1 pellet hook length, and that consists of a 4-inch hook length as well. You could have a little bit longer, but I just find 4 is very versatile sort of length.
The fixed rig is what we all used to do when F1s and commercial fishing for them really got started, and some places nowadays you're not allowed overshotted rigs, you're not allowed jiggers, so it was the perfect starting point for the show. We're going to go in, fixed rig, a little bit old school, and just see what happens.
Expectation wise, I don't think it'll be I think it'll be good, as in it'll plod along, but they'll be better. Obviously we've got other things to try. It's going to be interesting because I think a lot of fish are going to get away with it, but I also think that's a fact of life with our style of fishing.
When you're fishing these light strung out rigs, the main thing is to keep working your hook bait. So it's a case of lifting the rig up, folding it off to the side, letting it settle. As it's coming back through, the fish will see it. If you miss a bite, you're naturally lifting it, it's falling back through. It's about constantly moving your rig. The fish love that movement, and that's what this rig's all about. Nice and light, falling through constantly. It's no good just sitting there for like 30-40 seconds at a time feeding your bait. Keep working that rig and you'll catch more fish because of that.
There's ridiculous amounts of F1s appearing at the minute.
Yeah, it's gone nuts. It's recently gone nuts.
I think that shows the importance of feeding it though, is like, you need that competition. If
Yeah,
we'd
let
have
them get confident.
Yeah, if we'd have just started, I think
How-
you'd have been waiting.
How many are you feeding every time, bag, are there?
Still quite positive for the time of year, like 15, 20 maggots. You probably won't see that many come through on camera because by the time they get out there, they're spreading straight away then.
That one had it before it even got down.
Is he in, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's too good.
I feel like it was down.
It's absolutely black.
Sounds daft, but there's almost too many. Too many F1s. That first fish, great to catch one, but pointless. You've got to be able to see the hook bait, and I think that's one of the things a lot of people don't understand is we've got a very limited corridor on the underwater camera. He's got to get his hook bait in front of that camera for us to learn anything. And that's not easy. We've got F1s coming up high, we've got them down low, trying to concentrate on where we want them to be. That's going to be probably the most difficult thing.
It's probably going to take us a few goes to get it nice, you know, like so you know exactly where you're putting it.
Yeah. You see,
He's got another one there.
Yeah, can't see hook bait, mate, sorry. This is my impression of it.
That's what it looked like, to be fair.
Bagger's caught two there, but so far it's no good for what we're trying to do, and this kind of thing's always a fine balance between catching fish how you would naturally catch them, but also catching them in front of the camera. We want to be seeing hook bait come in, fish sucking it in, and yeah, he's caught a couple quick, but we can't really learn anything from that. That's not what underwater's all about.
What's really interesting straight away is hardly any maggots are getting down. He's feeding sort of 15, 20 maggots twice, and we're seeing virtually no maggots come onto screen. So those F1s are much higher, which is a bit of a problem at the minute because we need to see that hook bait and everything's getting eaten even higher in the water.
Is that him? That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got him, mate. Got it. Got it.
oh,
Have you got it?
no, I missed it.
Oh, he sucked him right in.
I did have a bite. And again.
You got in?
No, I had a little liner or something again.
There they come.
Plenty of fish there.
Got him.
I'd say there's plenty of fish there, obviously without knowing.
He's had them as well. That's 3 fish.
3 have had them that time, mate. Already.
There they are. There they are.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Oh,
got
he's
him.
Got him.
No!
4.
They look like they're taking it really clean as well.
4 fish have had them in the mouth already this drop.
I've had 2 bites.
4 have sucked him straight in.
Here we go, here we go.
Get ready. Got him.
Not even had a liner.
No.
He's still got it. He's still got
No.
it. He's still
There
got
we go.
it. Got him.
He had
it for ages.
So straight away, I'm quite annoyed at this point. They've had 5 bites and only 2 of them have shown up on my float. So I'm thinking, really? Like, how can they avoid this? How am I not getting bites on my little nice strung out rig? Very delicate, there's no resistance hardly. You know, when you're fishing a rig of like 0.15 of a gram in 3-4 foot of water, you would think so little resistance, they're not even going to feel it, they're just going to grab it with pure confidence, and already they've had it in the mouth 5 times and I've only seen actually 2 bites, so not boding well for how my rig's working.
Bagger, that was the 5th fish to suck it in.
I had 2 bites and then I had, obviously I could hear you. It was like 3, 4, 5 seconds after.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What do you think to that?
Some of the best footage I've ever seen, particularly shallow fishing. What's instantly sort of obvious is the rig's not as direct as maybe we think it is, but I've always assumed it works differently to what we're now seeing. To be fair though, I always suspected that I know how cute F1s are. You can't hook every fish.
Hang on a minute, he's the best in the world.
I know,
at
exactly. The second best.
Just to bring you up to speed, if you didn't know, we did a little series over a couple of years, Ringer versus Bennett, and the one that Ringer is definitely most proud of winning is against Bagger on this very venue, the Claypit, and he don't half like to mention it. Didn't you fish against him once?
I don't like to talk about it. Just try and keep Andy confident. High.
Have you told them yet, Steve?
I've just mentioned it, yeah. 4.5 minutes it took.
I didn't think it'd be long.
Well, I just think it's important to point out the facts. Obviously, facts are facts.
He set up so that a dog jumped in my swim. He made sure that we couldn't use jiggers because he didn't want me to get one every single chuck, or 2 a chuck at times. There were that many fish there. It was just basically a big stitch up, but obviously Ringer's going to keep telling people for years to come how he beat me on the Claypit.
Where you had your hook bait then, mate, was absolutely perfect for us seeing it.
I'll try and get it in. Obviously the wind's in my face, so it's pushing my rig back as well.
See if you can get better than 1 out of 5 this time. This is why we do it. That hook bait in front of camera, fish coming in, sucking it in. What's his float doing? Is he hooking them? Like, as soon as we've got it in the right place, I'm in then. Like, we're going to learn some cool stuff here, I know it.
Do you always fish double maggot?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have a go on single in a bit, but I always find doubles best.
You got two, what you got on at the minute?
Here it is.
Two
here it is.
reds.
Got him, got him. Got him?
No, not even had a bite.
Right.
Sucked it in, blew it out.
Oh.
Did he really?
Come on, Matt, calm down. Didn't even take the bait.
Sorry, getting too giddy.
See the movement on the hook. I know he's jigging it there, like lifting and dropping there, but like how much the bait moves and twists.
Is that a carp?
No.
Big.
Oh.
Got him. Got him?
I went to lift
Yeah,
my
he's got-
rig
look
and
at
he
him
was
just
on.
lolloping out a shot.
Did you not see a bite?
I lifted my rig and he was on.
So you didn't shoot under?
No.
Obviously this time I didn't see the bite, but I think this is a perfect example of why you want to keep busy and keep working the rig. I've gone to lift and drop the rig. The fish has already picked the bait up and obviously it's on. So it's another fish in the net, it's cleanly hooked, not foul hooked or anything. And I think that's why the harder you work, the more you get rewarded.
That had sucked it in clean as out, and you must have just picked up at the right time.
It happens all the time. You go to lift your rig and, oh, there's one on. And the worst part of it is, it's always the biggest F1s, which in hindsight, they're obviously the cleverest.
This is nuts. Do you know half the time when you're shallow fishing,
But
you
you
don't
can't-
know you've got one on?
No,
you
but the
pick
amount
up-
of times you go to pick up and there's one on.
That's what happens.
And you assume it's just had it, but it could have had it for ages.
Massive F1s as well.
See where he's hooked, bagger? Because obviously he sucked it in and you just picked up at the perfect time.
Smacking the top lip, perfect.
So that fish was perfectly hooked in the top lip, which I think is exactly what you want. If you're getting them too deep down the throat or you get them in the bottom lip, I always feel like the fish have had the bait in the mouth too long, or you know, you're fishing too deep. Whereas top lip, or even round to the side, anywhere around the top lip and in the sides, I think that's a good hook hold. You've got less chance of losing the fish, they fight easier, they don't nod about different, they just behave better. So that's the ideal scenario. That was absolutely perfect fish hooking for me.
So you see there, big old crafty Western F1. First chuck, we had 5 bites. I only seen 2 of them before we actually caught one. And then this chuck, I could hear Matt and Steve saying something. I've gone to lift my rig just to let it rack in, and he's been hooked square in the top lip. So perfectly up, never even seen the bite. So shows how cute they are.
I believe it's still a bit early to be making any drastic changes. There's fish there, we're seeing them suck the bait in, reject it, missing bites, and I think a little bit more time on this one before we decide where we're going.
When you first go on your shallow line and you've primed it and got them competing, you are looking for your best, one of your best runs of the match, and then normally later in the day it would get better. So
We can't see your hook bait, mate. Oh, it's
here
coming
comes,
in,
here
it's coming in. Got him, got him. Got him?
no, I've had a bite.
You're
You must have
joking.
him.
My float never moved, honestly.
Literally, had him for like 2 seconds, your hook bait just swallowed it.
My float never moved that time.
Hook bait's not back in yet.
Might have just blown back towards me. Can you see it now?
No, we
No,
can't
not
see
yet.
it, mate.
Right, I think the wind's pushing me rig more than you think.
We definitely didn't foresee how much water movement there'd be in rough conditions, that wind coming towards us and slightly across us. You associate tow with fishing on the bottom and your rig moving through, but I never really thought of it for shallow fishing before, but this proves it's definitely a thing, and it's only because we're trying to keep that rig in front of the camera that we're noticing it so much. It's very wafty.
Yeah, well
Like-
that's something I've learnt over the years, especially on bigger lakes like this where there's a lot of movement. Sometimes these light rigs aren't the best, but this would be my first rig that I'd pick up in any situation.
Yeah, got him.
No, missed him. I did have a bite
Yeah,
though.
he sucked it clean in. Here it comes, here it comes. Got him.
No, it's done you again.
Has he done yet?
That looked like a liner to me. It was just
He
a
had
little...
it and then it got stuck under his fin as he bolted off.
That's 3 this cast, sorry.
Although I am missing bites, I feel like that's common. If you fished a real heavy rig and it was dropping through too fast, then you won't get them bites. So I don't mind missing an odd bite. So if I connect with 1 in 3 bites when I'm fishing with these light rigs, as long as I'm catching one every couple of minutes and they're £2 a piece, I feel like I'm doing really well. You're not going to hit every single bite. You're not going to see every single bite from what we've seen so far as well. But I feel like you create more chances with this lighter rig. And then obviously as the fishing gets better, or as the fishing gets warmer in the summer months, the fish get more aggressive. I still feel like this time of the year they're probably in what I like to call dormant mode. They're feeding very gently, and sometimes you won't get a bite on any other rig via that little light rig, so if I miss a few bites, it's not the end of the world.
Here we go. Leave it there. Leave it there, mate. Are you hooking your maggot thin end?
Thin end, yeah.
They're sitting quite nice, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go. Oh, thing is, you never know. It's like,
Never.
oh, no. Look at them now. How many's there now?
Oh my God.
But you know, like then, you'd never, don't know, that's sort of area where you can't overthink it, because otherwise you'd never, look at him chasing it.
Can't overthink it.
That one could eat it, we'll never know now. There it is.
You cannot believe how many fish have just
No,
been...
but obviously that like lifting then is never to know that the fish was just about to eat it when, here we go.
You've got him.
Got it.
You've got...
No.
No.
Tell you what, I thought they were clever, but they're more cleverer than I thought. That one's. Oh! They're ridiculously clever. I always thought F1s were clever and pretty cute, but this is showing me they're the next level, clever and cute. And I think the key to how they get away with it is the speed of them. Everyone thinks F1, really rapid, really fast fish. They're slow, they're ponderous, they're methodical. And because they're moving slow, they can literally suck the hook bait in, blow it back out, and he's not even seen an indication.
You've heard the saying, what you don't know doesn't hurt you. In this case, it's what you can't see doesn't hurt you.
Where's it gone? There it comes. Come on. Yes.
Got him. Got him?
No, missed the bite.
No.
It's about eight, I think.
What is going on?
Oh, here we come. Here it comes.
I've had 2 bites on my float.
Oh, can't see it. He might have ate it and we won't see. Oh, there
No,
it
it's
is.
there, it's there.
How can you say? Don't know. Might be a bit exaggerating, but 8. And like they seem to suck it in quite confident.
I know it's early, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Got to have
Oh,
him.
no.
No.
9. What's interesting is how easily the F1s are sucking it in and blowing it straight back out. They're hardly taking it in, like they're almost just touching it. But it's down to that slow behaviour. And what I'm not sure is, if it was the height of summer, would they be moving a lot quicker? Or is this how they always feed?
If I was sat here now, I wouldn't think there's that many fish
No,
there.
that's what I mean.
You don't want to see the screen. You do not want to see this screen.
I think there's an odd bite. Oh, no, I missed that one.
We can't see the hook bait now.
I've had 3 bites this cast.
I reckon at least 8 have had it in their mouth.
One thing I'm noticing here is we're not actually getting that many liners. For the fish that are swimming through the peg, you think most of these missed bites are going to be line bites, but I think because my rig is so light, you're not actually seeing liners, it's all missed bites, and the amount of times they get away with it is frightening really. And is that down to my rig being too light? It's not tight enough for that depth of water? Is the float too light? That's what's going through my head now, is like, how are they getting away with this? Like, you think of them days when you have a million bites and you miss a bite, and then you get your pole tip pulled in. Like, you're probably missing 10, 15 chances before you catch a fish.
We can't see it, mate.
There
It's
it is.
there, it's there.
Oh.
Right. Got him?
Ah, I missed him.
No! Big mirror.
Glad I'm not on the box.
Bag, it's ridiculous. It's going to do your head in. Got him.
Oh,
got him. Oh, you
No. Do you have a sign then?
Yeah, I did have a sign, yeah.
can see his
Oh.
hook. Go on, go on, go on.
Got
You've
that
got to have that.
I bumped something.
No!
I pricked a roach.
No, it wasn't a roach. Big golden roach.
He's winding us up.
I know he
He
is.
thinks we're taking Mick. Did you expect it to be like this?
No. The footage is incredible.
Got one.
We didn't see it. So it doesn't count.
All right.
There's 2 things that have become apparent really quickly. The first is Andy's got a swim full of F1s, and the second is Andy doesn't really know they're there. He's only getting a really odd indication. So you could have a swim full of great big F1s and not know that much about it. Just think there's only an odd one there because that's what you're catching and that's what the signs dictate. So looking at the screen, we need to change. But what is the first change? But like part of me's thinking straight away, Like, would a single maggot be better?
Would a side
Side
hook
hook?
maggot?
Would a banded maggot?
What happens if it's casters?
Yeah.
Not even
Does hook size make a difference?
not even thinking about changing the rig.
I mean, could he make the rig more positive as in,
Bulk.
yeah, or have a shot a bit closer to the hook?
Oh, he's on. Yeah. So I put me heavier rig on, see if it stays in position a bit. At least you can see the bait.
Yeah.
Or a
I feel
bulk.
like the rig's like this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the problem.
It's not even at the depth, like it's on an angle, I think.
So when you're fishing these big, deep venues, not necessarily deep, but big volumes of water, I always think these smaller rigs, these lighter, little delicate rigs, don't work as well for this exact reason. My rig now, I always almost feel like it's slightly tilted. It's fishing on an angle because there's a little bit of tow, there's a little bit of water movement, the rig's pushing under my pole tip all the time. And sometimes that slightly heavier, nastier looking rig works better because it keeps everything straighter and tighter. So a change to a slightly heavier rig now might just make me line, instead of sitting on an angle, come down and might actually see more bites. You think that light fall will get you more bites, but if you're not seeing them, it's pointless. You have to have a rig that is efficient and working properly.
Yeah, like years ago when the jigger first come around, for example, I remember fishing on Loco at Lindholm, and my normal little light rigs, when it was windy, I think the water moves too much, and I think that's what we're getting now, because I'm putting my rig in the exact same spot and it's not showing up on the camera like it did for the past hour. So my hook bait can't be in the same position because you're saying it's not visible now. So I'm going to step up from a 0.15 to a 0.25. I wouldn't normally do this, but you know, maybe, because I'm getting bites, I'm catching fish, but you're not seeing it. So maybe this will hold it in position and we might start catching quicker.
Bagger, I'm not just saying it as well, the sucking rate to your hooking rate has been terrible.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if a heavier rig helps that.
My initial thoughts watching the F1 sort of sucking the hook bait in, blowing it out, is we're not tight enough, the rig's not positive enough. So in theory, heavier rig, keep everything tighter, more direct, we should see more indications. I'm not totally sure that'll be what happens, but in my mind, that's the next step. It'll be interesting to see if this comes straight into shot.
It will.
Because it tells you then that the light rig's not sitting anything like straight.
Were you sat there thinking heavier rig?
Not necessarily, because more positive rig perhaps, to try and get things tighter.
Like more shot down?
Yeah.
You mean? I honestly think that if Andy was fishing a swim now and we were filming a normal feature, he'd be going, there's not that many fish there. The missed bites are probably a few little small fish, and we've got the cameras on, we can see his swim is full of F1s and he's getting turned over by them. So we've got to start tweaking this and making changes, and this is going to be an interesting one because there's got to be a way of hooking more of these. Right, it's there.
It's gonna get.
Got him. No, he hasn't.
You should have had him. There it is.
There.
Yeah. That's it. It's coming back into shot a bit better.
Right,
now.
it's coming back into shot now. Whichever way you were moving it, but you're still left.
It's not bad there though.
It's not, but
I know
it could be amazing.
Yeah, it could be, but
Can you tilt the camera that way at all? Yeah. How do I do it?
oh, he's got that one.
Got it?
Got him?
Got what?
Obviously not there.
Can I move that camera that way slightly or not? Sorry, Daniel. Right, that'll help.
That could. You watch now.
Right. Thousands of pounds of camera kit. PTZ. Do you know what that means? Pan, tilt and zoom, which means you can move the camera. I didn't realise, and I'm trying to get Andy to put his rig in front of it when we can just do a little bit of and find his hook bait.
Here we go. We record
There it is, there it is. Got him.
No, missed it.
No.
Can't see it now. A lot more of his loose feeds landing where we've now he's twitched.
It's there,
Yeah.
It's right in the middle.
Oh.
Got him.
Got him.
No. Have you got him?
No.
What is
Are you
going
getting
on?
indications, Andy?
Yeah, I had 2 bites, last 2 chucks.
There it is.
And again. No, that one's going to suck it in. No, they're fighting over it.
Go on.
No, he's missed it. Just lifted it. That one's seen it on the drop. So it's falling.
Go on.
Much better angle. No. It's like they just know it's not quite, but the amount of movement on it's incredible.
Look at that,
It's like
he's thinking about
yeah,
it,
it's
look.
like he knows it's not quite. Oh, he's going to take it.
Got him.
Got him. Got him?
I've not even had a bite.
I tell you why
Bagger.
that is. There's too much. You know when he lifts, it falls. There's too much slack, so he's not seeing anything.
Let me move my shot down.
How low is your bottom shot?
Well, normally at this time of the year, I'd have it quite a lot so it doesn't fall away. So it's like 8 inch away.
Bagger, they are blowing it in and out all the time.
Right, so this is what my winter rig would normally be, but normally as well, bear in mind, I'm fishing deep shallow here. It feels like there must be too much slack in
Yeah,
the
that's
rig.
what it looks like.
So like, normally I'd be fishing like 2.5 foot deep on most commercials. Everything would be tighter at this end, so I'm gonna move these shots down. I wouldn't normally do this because I feel like it'll drag my hook bait down.
Let's see what happens.
Is
You've got
milk
to do
bait coming in
something,
quite
mate.
natural?
Yeah, they're
And are they
they're
taking
moving
it-
a lot though, as in
Are they
'cause
taking
of
it on the drop?
bit of both, static and falling.
It's not like they're just touching it, they're sucking
they're-
it in.
It looks like they're sucking it in and swimming off with it.
Yeah, so I'm going to spread my shotting out, so it's literally, I've got one 4 inch from the hook now, another one probably 5 inch above that, another one 4 inch, 3 inch. I'll move that just slightly, just so it's
What
tapered.
size hook have you got on as well?
I've got 0.11 to a 16's F1 pellet.
Have you? So it's still quite a fine.
It's still, I couldn't go any lighter because I feel like the fish are
Don't
too
think
big.
you need to. They're eating it.
Yeah, I think the fish are too big to go to 0.8, 0.10.
I almost wonder if the hook's too light.
It's interesting to see now he's moved the shot down.
Yeah.
Moving that bottom shot down to just 4 inches from the hook, in theory, makes the rig even more direct, so he should start seeing more. Will he start hitting more? I don't know, but he should definitely start seeing more indications.
See ya. It's there, smack in middle of the shot. There, underneath it. You foul up to that, I think.
Is it?
I reckon you've upped him. Yeah, come off. You upped him under here.
But
Maybe that's 'cause-
instantly, within 20 seconds, I've seen 3 bites. Like my rig was obviously way too wafty.
Yeah.
So I've seen 3 indications there. It's like, whoa, there's loads of fish there now. Like, it's totally. My shot was too far away, wasn't it?
So exactly what we thought, the shot was too far away and it's not registering on my float. I've moved my shot down and all of a sudden my rig is a lot more direct, a lot more positive, 4 inches away from the hook, and all of a sudden I foul up one under the chin, because before they'd have got away with that, they'd have either sucked it in or they'd have swam through my rig. And this is why I think we're not seeing liners as well. They swim through your rig and they just brush past it, and them missed bites, they're not liners. A lot of them are fish sucking your bait in, and it's exactly the same principle as fishing on the bottom. If you have your bolt 20 inches away with no shot down your line from your bolt to your hook bait, your rig's going to move, you're not going to see indications. Shallow fishing is exactly the same. Having a light rig, but maybe having your shot a little bit closer to your hook, is just going to mean that you're going to stay more in contact with your rig, your hook bait, your float, and you're going to catch more fish because of it.
Bagger,
Yeah?
if you think you can put your hook bait a tiny bit closer to camera, it'd be amazing. See how his hook bait's
There
here?
it is, there it is.
Yeah. So
There?
closer to camera, no. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
he still
oh,
wants
oh.
it, still wants it.
Go
No,
on,
no.
go on, go down, go
No.
down. There, if you can put your hook bait there, that is the dog
You can almost see
stanglers.
that's hanging on an arc. Look how much it's moving as well. It's going on a diagonal now.
Amazing positioning that, mate.
Here we
Go
go,
on,
here
go
we
on,
go.
go on. Yes!
Oh no, he's spat it. It's like you can't get tight enough quick enough. Where is it? Here it comes. No.
Go on.
Got it. Got him?
No.
No!
I'm seeing all the bites now, though.
Yeah, are you hitting them?
Well, don't want to hit them all, do I? It'll look too easy.
What? I am shocked. Are you?
I'm shocked at how many are getting away with it. I said 99%.
Half time, swap the box.
Anybody who says to me that F1 fishing is hook a duck, go and fish with a nice light strung out rig and tell me how many fish you think get away with it, because for me it's just unbelievable. Ringer thinks it's 99%, I'm going to go about 90, but when I'm sat on that box I would never think there's that many fish in my peg. So when you have these days and you miss a bite of chuck, there's millions of fish in your peg, trust me.
Well, we tightened everything up, obviously moved that shot down. We're seeing the bites, but he's not actually hooking any of them. So achieve one thing, but in reality put nothing in the net.
Positioning's phenomenal.
But it's showing how much movement's in the water, look.
You don't think about it when you're shallow fishing, do
not
you?
at all.
This is going to do his nutting, Steve.
He's almost you know, since that shot's moved, yeah, though, he's almost getting picked up less.
It's almost like they liked the waftiness for presentation, but he's not seeing any bites when it's wafting. Got him.
No, he spat it instantly. That was so fast how quick he spat that out.
I'm seeing all the indications now, but
You had no chance of hitting that.
my rig does feel a bit heavy and bulky.
It's like they don't actually like how positive it is.
Yeah.
Watching what's happening now, he literally has no chance of hitting those bites. Yes, we're giving him a bit of a hard time and he's getting frustrated, but that hook bait is in and out. It's impossible.
Paul won't let me say blowjob. The fish blow it in and out very quickly, and blow is the important word. They're not coming in and clamping the mouth shut on the bait. It's almost like they come up to it and like they just literally suck it in and suck it out almost in one movement without clamping and closing the mouth. Weird little creatures.
So obviously we've swapped to the heavier rig and we're seeing a lot more indications because the rig's more positive, but we're not really hooking a great deal more. Maybe it's a little bit too bulky and heavy, and the fish must know. Like, you've got to give fish credit. They must know the difference in the weight. They must feel it. All of a sudden, like, they're spitting the bait out really quickly. Before, they were like gobbing it a little bit more slower, and now it's like the presence of that rig, or they feel the resistance. It's different. So maybe go back to the lighter rig and just see what happens with that and see if there's any sort of difference. It's very hard to work out, to be honest.
Good positioning, Bagger.
Not now.
Just drifted out.
Left again.
Go right.
It's drifted out of shot now.
Bagger was definitely getting a little bit irritated at this point. I could tell he wanted to start getting one most chucks in, and it just weren't happening. A flip back to the light rig, but bulk down for a short period.
Is that in shot?
Yeah.
Go on. Leave it. Leave it.
Just leave it
Just
hanging.
leave it.
Let it hang. Oh. Give a bite then.
Yeah, I had a sign then.
And then back onto the heavy rig and trying to make that work again. We were flitting about quite a lot, to be honest.
Maybe the answer is not in the bottom half of the rig, maybe the answer is in the top half of the rig. And what I mean by that is, rather than fishing with a longer line, try shortening the line down, try having everything a little bit more tighter, a little bit more direct, because obviously fishing with a longer line, your float's going to drift back under your tip. And one thing to bear in mind here, the conditions, wind was in our face, probably the worst conditions for shallow fishing because it's pushing your float back towards you. If this was a flat, calm, still day, the light rig could actually be really good. We can only show you what we're doing, the conditions on the day, and why the light rig is not standing out.
Great positioning. They are so cute.
If anything, they're getting.
Terrible timing, Bagger. You wouldn't have a clue though, mate.
I wouldn't think there's that many fish here at the minute. If I was sat here fishing now, I wouldn't be carrying on, do you know what I mean? But it was the same last year when we did underwater. Just
Single, got that.
peg
That's
full
a
of
ghost
fish.
Go on. Go on.
He's going to have a go at him. No, look, he knows. Go on, Gums. Oh,
Got him.
Got him.
Got him?
Yeah, nailed him.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like I felt like he nailed that because the fish had a smaller mouth.
What, and he had to eat?
Yeah. Couldn't get rid of it.
So what rig's that, Bagger? Because I just said to Steve, obviously some fisheries, you're not allowed jiggers, you're not allowed overshotted, you've got to fish traditional shallow.
Yeah.
You've just tweaked a couple of things and you got one a lot quicker than you have before.
Yeah, so like this that last rig was a 0.15 of a gram, which is like 4x10 equivalent, maybe a tidgy bit lighter. This one's more like, well, it's 0.25 of a gram, so it's more like a 4x12.
Right.
The shotting's virtually the same, but it's just got bigger shots. So instead of 11s, it's got 10s. But obviously, you're not getting, I feel like this rig falls too quick. But for the depth of water and the wind and the tow on the lake today, it's obviously offering a lot more stability. And it just, well, it caught me that fish, do you know what I mean?
What about the shorter line length?
I think that's probably helped.
Should you have another couple of goes with that then?
Yeah, your rig's not drifting as much under your tip, it's keeping it in position. Not only for cameras, but it's tightening up and not moving as much.
So one thing that's definitely worked is shortening the line down. I think the reason for this is not necessarily because you can hit bites any quicker, because you can, if you're fishing with a long line, you can hold your tip in position, you've still only got to lift it 2 inches, the same as having a short line. But I think the biggest thing here is the wind's in your face, it's stopping that rig from drifting, and you can just get better presentation having a shorter line. There's less line for the wind to pick up on, and it's not going to push your rig about as much.
Can't see your bait, mate.
No, I've just had 2 bites on the drop then. Yeah, he took it on the drop again.
Yeah, we actually saw the fish in the background, but you couldn't.
But you've got one.
Yeah.
But they're only little tweaks then, but you just had 2 in 2 chucks.
Oh, look,
It's got him round. It's got him round the camera.
Try and keep it away from the camera, yeah?
So we're just starting to finally make a bit of progress. Made a few tweaks, started to catch some fish, and one of the silly little F1s decides to rag me around the camera. So not ideal, but I think one man will be loving this, and that's Ringer. He can't wait to hammer me when stuff like this happens.
Please tell me you've not lost your only rig.
Yep, got none left, mate. We'll go and tie some more up tonight, and we'll come back tomorrow. I've got a few ideas up my sleeve. Bit annoyed at the amount of bites that I'm not seeing, but yeah, we'll come back, and I think we'll improve things by tomorrow.
Mind-blowing start, mate, that, from our point of view watching these, mind-blowing. And there's a cracking bar in the clubhouse at Weston. We are learning, but I don't think we've consolidated anything or mastered anything just yet, and I think there's lots more to play around with. Bagger certainly is going to want to go in tomorrow with this same rig and try and hone it a little bit more. I think the shorter line, definitely a thing. Tighter shotting, definitely shows you more indications but doesn't necessarily hook you more fish. And perhaps we can work on a few things like hook baits or movement of the rig, and also trying a band instead of straight hooking. It's complicated because, as you can see, there's only so much you can do in the period of time that you're there, so loads to work on.
The biggest thing I'm learning is that these fish are very clever. They reject your bait an awful lot more than what you think, but your rigs have to be right, otherwise you'll either not see the bites or you just won't be connecting with the bites when they actually take it. So it's a bit of a frustrating day one, but I think day 2 we've got a few more things to try. We're not finished yet. There will be a way of catching these fish because we're getting so many opportunities. It's just about converting them bites into fish in the net.
I think to sum up, day 1 has been tough. F1s are far cleverer than people give them credit for. They're masters of getting away with it. And also I feel like we spent a lot of our time trying to get the hook bait on screen, which, to defend Andy, has compromised what he's trying to do a little bit. So I think day 2, go back to what we were doing, that fixed rig. There has to be a better way where we can be more efficient.
I think it's important to note that it took about 40-50 minutes to get the fish showing again. I think priming a swim's dead important. I'm going to start similar to yesterday, so I'm going to go back on lighter rig, and I think we need to come up with a conclusion of this. From what we've seen yesterday, 6 inch were best, so last shot 6 inch from the hook. Do you agree?
Yep.
I tell you what's shocking me more than anything, I'm watching you feed here. Go on. I'm watching you feed and there's so fewer maggots coming through past your bait. Get ready.
No.
Ooh.
Oh,
He's coming back. He likes it.
He likes it.
Go on. He's going to have it, he's going to have it, he's going to have it, he's going to have it.
No. Oh, he's got him. Yes!
That were wicked.
You could see the hook go right into his top lip.
Yeah, it was a nice little bite, that.
You had like 4 refusals before that.
What, where they've had it in the mouth?
Not sort of had it in the mouth, but gone right up to it and decided they didn't like it.
On every underwater we've done so far, and this one included now, I've always thought that the fish are looking at stuff. They're looking at your rig, they're looking at the bait. You see them sort of tilt their head and eye it and something not right there, lads, and just swim off. They definitely look at it. Yes, it might be because the venues we film underwater are gin clear, so they've got that opportunity to inspect, but I'm sure they can do it anyway. They know that there's something not right with that bait.
I think the key there was, and it's almost what I'd call the holy grail, everything was so tight. So that F1 literally like went to suck it in, and it's so tight that Andy's on it instantly. But that presentation is really difficult to replicate every single cast. That was perfection, if you want to call it that.
Smack. That is perfect hook positioning. It's bang in the top.
Yeah, you can see, we saw it.
It was amazing.
When you get to watch this back, you'll literally see it.
So looking at the replay back there, I've had 2 fish that have come in, inspected the bait, you know, really inquisitive, and then the third one's come in and absolutely nailed it. So really happy with the way that goes. The movement of the bait is obviously important because every time it's falling through, they're looking about for the bait and they're watching it all the time. Sometimes they don't like it, but like I say, third time lucky, the fish absolutely nailed it.
That feed then, Matt, was perfect. See how many maggots you count on the screen here? And again, that's 2 perfect feeds. I would say you can't be any more accurate than that with a catapult.
You got one?
No, I missed a bite.
Yeah, I saw him at the back of the shot, didn't we?
And again.
Yeah,
no.
they're up, mate. Look at him.
I can't see his hook bait.
See how many maggots come in this time?
There's
Yeah,
hook bait,
yeah.
there's hook bait.
Look at him.
Oh, he's a good one.
He's
Ghost
eating
there.
eating the loose offerings. Oh,
Oh, he's gonna. There's hook bait. Go down, go down.
there he goes.
Go on, baby.
They know it's not quite the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of maggots fell in that time, mate, compared.
What, like 15?
Like,
Hard to tell.
8 or 10, I'd have said, but
They can tell that your hook bait's not the same
Yeah.
because they're taking the single offerings now, if you know what I mean.
it does look so unnatural
It does,
just
yeah.
sat there, doesn't it?
It's not even the sat there, it's the fact it's 2 long ways down
Yeah.
rather than side on.
And you can see the hook.
Oh, look.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. Go on. Got him.
Yeah.
Go on, bugger!
That's hook bait on the move again though as well.
Just falling.
Just falling, yeah. Tiny bit of movement.
There's definitely a theme that if the hook bait's just falling as one's just coming
They
in,
get caught.
they grab it.
Yeah.
Seems like we're getting somewhere now. 2 fish in 2 drops, slightly heavier flow. That last shot sort of 6 inches from the hook, so you've got that balance of fall and waftiness in the bottom end, but also bite registration. It's just, there's a little critical point, and if you can get, or what I'm seeing here is, if you can get the hook bait falling as the fish is approaching, it's rare that you miss them bites. When you get that little opportunity, bait's coming in, fish is coming in at the same time, got it, moved on, normally they're the ones that you hook. Heavier rig definitely seems a bit better, mate.
Because it's more stable.
To me, watching the screen, something that's really standing out is 2 maggots on the hook. I know they catch loads of fish on it, but it doesn't look right. And it looks to me like the F1s are picking up all the free offerings, single baits, and treating double maggot with a little bit of suspicion. So it makes logical sense from what I can see on the screen to try a single maggot that's going to fall exactly the same as the free offerings.
So the next thing that we wanted to try, Steve in particular, is banding maggot. Like, it's not something that I do a lot of unless I'm catching loads and loads of fish. Like if I'm catching lots of small, stocky sized F1s, it can be absolutely brilliant because you don't have to constantly keep changing your hook bait. But I've always found over the years that 2 maggots always seems to stand out better and the fish like it better. So normally I just straight hook them onto the hook. But, and the big but is, I always feel like maggots sit really awkward. And going back to looking at Ferry Meadows when Steve fished there, and he put 3 maggots on the hook, and they literally sat like all at funny angles, a little bit like a Medusa, just, it looked horrible. And you'd think 3 dead maggots would sit perfect, and they didn't. And looking at the camera footage here, again, they're sitting really awkward. Double maggot looks horrible. They're sitting a little bit on the side and a little bit twisted, but maybe that's what the fish like, because they can see that. So it'd be interesting to see whether they actually see a banded maggot as well, whether they like that hook exposed right in front of the face. Will we miss less bites? You know, it's definitely worth something we need to try anyway.
What hook and line and band and everything, mate?
This is what I would use in my own fishing. 18's SLWG, 011. Could probably fish 013 to be honest.
What do you think's gonna happen with this before he drops it? Quick, tell me.
I'd love to think that just every single one's just going to suck it in and get up, but probably not. But it'd be interesting to see if they still treat it with suspicion, because that then says it's not the way the hook bait's falling, it's the line and the hook.
I want to see if it looks ugly with the band and
Yeah.
a bit more hook showing.
That's it, yeah.
It looks more natural straight away.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's sat sideways.
Yeah, it is. Oh, rotor after it. Here we go, here we go,
No,
here
no,
we
no,
go.
go on.
Yes, got him. Got him?
No! You got a blondie in.
No, I think they've seen the band.
You just got done.
Yeah, I know, I had a bite.
But
It
he
looks
took it.
better.
They're not as suspicious. Well, that first fish wasn't as suspicious of it.
Yeah, I just took it.
Yeah.
So first impressions on seeing the band, it does look more natural, but it's not as like stand out in your face when you're looking at the screen. So instantly I'm thinking that's what the fish will be looking at. It looks natural because you've got single maggots coming through and you've got this single maggot here, whereas when you've got 2 maggots sat at a funny angle and they're twisting about, it's probably half the attraction to the fish, especially when the water's a little bit more coloured. And this is why I always generally fish double maggots on a straight hook.
First impression of banded maggot is it looks better visually. The maggots sink in side on, so it looks more natural. Yeah, you can see the hook and the band, but I'm not convinced the fish can. So initial reaction is presentation, as in the hook bait itself, it's falling more naturally. That's that blondie again. Come on, blondie.
Blondie's in.
Come on, blondie.
Got
Come
a
on,
cat.
blondie.
Go on.
Come
go
on, blondie. Oh, he's looking at it. He might have got that.
He's under him.
Yeah.
Other one's coming. Other one's coming. Go on. He's got it.
Got him.
Got it.
Got him?
Oh no, I missed him.
No, he had it properly again as well.
Was that the blonde?
No, the blonde refused you and his mate come in and mug you off.
You get refused by blondes quite a lot, bagger.
All time, yeah, that's why I go for brunettes. They're too hard to catch them.
Oh, it's going to get picked up again. It's weird because
Yeah,
Oh,
that's feeding. That's,
yeah.
He's got that. He's got
yeah,
that.
no, he's missed it.
That's 3 out.
That's 3 out of 3.
I told you it was rubbish, this banded maggot.
Lovely clean pickups there they are.
You know when I lay it in, does it look nicer coming in? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not backing away from it. They're actually taking it.
Why are you missing them? Fish are eating your bait and you aren't catching them.
Oh, because he moved it. There we go. He's going to get picked up again. No, that one was. Look from below. Oh, that one refused it.
It's doing my head in, Steve, if I'm honest, when I sit and watch. Is it
I
not
don't.
you?
It is because we've had 3 of the cleanest pickups, and he's not hit any of them. You've seen bites from all of them, haven't you?
I've had 3 bites, yeah.
Yeah. Banded maggot presentation-wise looks amazing, and I'd say we're getting picked up more. It looks like we're getting picked up more confidently, but if anything, we're catching even less. So again, false economy, which means yes, looks good to us, maybe looks good to the F1s, but we're not putting more fish in the net, so we need to change something else.
Perhaps they're getting away with it because they're so switched on and the fish are super clever. I mean, we're using fixed rigs and that was a thing 10, 15 years ago. So are they just highly tuned fish that know how to reject or know how to not suck in the bait properly on a fixed rig? Perhaps that is why so many people now have to use a jigger or an overshotted rig, because it's the only way you can get that conversion of fish sucking it in to actually hooking them.
Definitely looked at it, didn't he?
You're looking at it.
Mm. Do you think they're seeing the band or?
No,
That's
because
what
they were
I don't-
doing the same
Oh,
with
here we
it.
go, here we go, he's got a chance. Needs more movement. Do you know what I mean? That's
Little
yeah, little movements.
Can we ask you to try something, Bagger?
Yeah.
Can you just impart a little bit of movement a lot of the time?
Does that work when I drag
Yeah,
it?
Do it again.
Just do it again.
Got him.
Oh, he's done you again.
But if it's moving,
The movement's
they eat
everything.
it.
Yet again, movement is key. That little bit of movement, that little bit of attraction, making them have it, not waiting for them. Our conversion rate on this is absolutely...
Got him, got him.
Got him?
No.
Never.
The conversion rate on this is shocking.
Oh, and another, and another.
Oh,
They definitely eat it more when
Yeah.
it's moving. Look.
yeah. They love the movement. Like you're getting done just constantly.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they're gathering around your bait just because it's moving.
This one's coming, look, this one's coming. On one of these turns.
They're coming because it's moving.
Yeah.
Got him.
No, it's not moving enough for him.
Move it more,
You need to
mate.
keep moving. He's coming, he's coming.
He's coming. Got him.
Got him, yeah?
No, missed it. I'm dragging this.
Oh,
Got him.
you got him.
Go step. Right, that's a carp, not an F1. I bet that's a
I
carp.
wasn't even looking.
I bet it's a carp, like a little ghost carp. I think that, if it's a carp, proves.
Carp or ghost F1.
Proves.
Can't tell.
There was movement there, the upbait had been lifted, dropped, it was moving around, it had just fell as that fish is coming in, and it sucked it in cleanly hooked. I just think that there's something now in the fact that if the bait's falling at the right time in the right place, they don't suspect there's anything wrong and they just suck it in with that bit more gusto.
So obviously one thing Matt and Steve wanted me to try was this little movement and just sort of like flicking my rig constantly all the time. I wasn't convinced of it at first because I've never fished like that, but straight away a carp's come in the swim. First one that's probably been in the swim. We've nailed him, although we have been rejected 3 or 4 times by F1s. Sometimes you could be pulling it out of the mouth and spook them because like they're just about to take it and then you're flicking it too regular. But the carp nailed it, so first time it's been in the swim. Is that just because carp are a little bit more aggressive and we were going to nail him no matter what we were doing? I don't know, but it was interesting this because it's not something I would normally do, is like constant little flicks with a fixed rig. I'd do it on an overshotted rig or a jigger, but not so much with a fixed rig. And we caught a fish straight away, so could we have invented a new way of shallow fishing? Well, it'd be interesting to see what happens now.
Really good.
It's
The movement.
frustrating though.
Yeah, but it's not, I'm
movement.
taking the positive as in the movement is everything.
You're just a positive guy, aren't
That's
you?
what, you know what I mean? I live for positivity.
Ringy, you need to
feel-
stop being so positive.
It's radiating from you. Are you feeling alright on this shoot? You've been so
I think
positive.
I banged my head yesterday morning.
Right.
There's me trying to be nice and positive, keep the shoot upbeat, and everyone's taking the mick out of me. I'm carrying this shoot at the moment.
So from what the boys are saying there, I've been done about 5 or 6 times from F1s on that banded maggot. They're saying the presentation looks great. First time this beauty's come in the peg, he's absolutely nailed it though, so that tells me that carp are a lot more aggressive. As soon as they see something, you know, they're just happy to grab and snatch at it. You definitely miss more bites from F1s, so let's get back out there and see if we can sort out how to actually nail and catch these F1s.
Here we go. Look at them looking at it like they want to eat it.
He doesn't.
But
Blondie.
Blondie. Got the Blondie!
Yes!
You got the
You got the Blondie!
Ah, we've kidded him.
You cannot beat nailing a Blondie in front of camera, can you? Hey?
I'm saying nothing.
Don't lose it, yeah? That bite then was the perfect illustration of everything working to plan, constant virtually movement, and I actually think when you watch it back, he was lifting the rig as that Blondie sucked the hook bait in. Everything was perfect and it would be nailed right in the top lip.
Blondes are notoriously hard to catch compared to a standard F1. They're very shy, finicky fish, and I feel like, you know, I fish for them a lot and I feel like they're forever sort of mugging you off all the time. They're really hard to catch. That constant movement doesn't give them a chance to reject it. If they suck it in, you're probably going to be in contact with it, and that was perfect, you know what I mean? Like, really could be onto something new here with this little flicking sort of 2 inches and that constant little 2-inch movement of the hook bait. So yeah, 2 out of 2 virtually.
Right, we've nailed him. How long do you reckon he's been in peg? Since the start, I would say. Obviously, I think we could be onto something here with a little bit of movement. I'm going to pop him back, but it just shows that movement all of a sudden. I would never, ever fish like that. I've never fished like that, and I honestly think, you know, I'm not just saying this for cameras, if you go to a venue where there's a fixed rig, I think this could be a great way. Like, I would have thought that is the worst possible presentation, keep twitching your float. And all I'm trying to do is just bring my body out of the water an inch, and you're saying that's enough movement on the camera? Does that look good to you?
It makes it hard for him to get away with it as well.
Well, he's nailed him, hasn't
Because
he?
the hook bait's moving. When the hook bait's moving, they find it really difficult to eject it.
The ultimate combo is hook bait just falling and fish coming in, and if that happens, they suck it in every time.
Yeah.
And by doing what you're saying, you're maximising the chances of that happening.
I think it's sort of imitating that jigger movement when it's a bit cooler. And should we confirm this?
Yeah.
Catch us another one.
Catch us one more and then we can possibly move further forward.
The lifting and movement for me now is becoming more than just the fact that fish like the movement. What it also enables you to do looking at this is when you're lifting the bait and dropping it regularly, if a fish happens to be sucking it in at the point you're going to lift, you actually get them and hook them as well. So I can see this moving into the other methods that I'm itching to try here, the jigger and the overshot, because that enhances the movement, the regularity of it, and I think we're going to see more, I don't want to call them accidental hookups. I think that the way to describe it is, I think we'll hook more fish without seeing bites. That's fair, isn't it?
Keep a virtually constant movement.
Yeah.
Cost him that fish, I did.
Oh, just jigged him out of the way.
A lot of it's just timing.
It's a bit of luck,
Yeah,
isn't
you
it?
did a bit of luck, yeah. Like now, look.
Go on, go on, go on, go on. This is Steve Ringer's school of F1 avoidance.
We're waiting for the carp, aren't we?
Yeah. You gonna try calling in a minute?
Oh, you can't get
He's
it.
trying to get it, look.
It's weird, they're so tentative.
Yeah, but if it's moving, they definitely get more aggressive.
Yeah. Stitched him up good and proper.
Come on, come on, come on.
No.
Ooh.
He
Go on
wants
then,
it.
go on then. Got him.
No, didn't take it properly, do you really? Just,
Gummed it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the words I was looking for.
Mm.
Gummed. This one's, look at that.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Got him, haven't you?
Nice. Perfect timing.
Yeah.
The timing was immaculate.
That's what I mean, you're right, there's a little bit of luck.
Yeah. Which I hate.
Yeah.
I hate. Because I'm looking at the amount of fish thinking it shouldn't be luck. Are you?
Yeah, I am, but I think that's just life. What's quickly become apparent now Andy's working the rig on a virtually constant basis is how many fish you almost hook by accident, as in you're lifting as the float goes under, so you're hooking it. It's hard for the fish to get away with it, which in reality, that's what the overshotted rig and the jigger do. So it sort of explains why they're so effective.
It's all screaming jigger to me.
If it's screaming, then let's do it.
The jigger setup that we're going in with, it's standard how 90% of people would fish with it. Prototype jigger float and a bulk of shot, and that's normal. The bulk's used to pull the line down through the float, keep that rig nice and stable. In this case, we're going to start with a bulk 6 inches from the hook. But the whole idea of the jigger, if you've not used it before, is that the line's running through the body, and that not only enables you to impart movement into the rig without moving the float because it's in line with the line running through it, but it also means that when a fish does grab the bait, it's directly connected to the pole tip. So in theory, they should hook themselves against the pole a little bit more. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I'm quite excited to see what happens with the jigger.
My
Because I've not done loads of it.
I think before we put this in as well, I think this is we're constantly gonna have that movement.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
But I think the direct
that's a carp,
line,
I think.
common, I think the direct line will reduce ejections. Which we've seen straight hooking and with a band on the normal rig.
Right, should be coming in
Yeah,
now.
got him.
Amazing.
Here we go. This could be like.
Oh God.
Thing is, he's obviously.
Go on.
Oh.
Come on. Let's do this. Eat it. Look at it. The movement looks smoother already.
Movement's better, but they're not. They're suspicious of it. I feel like the bulk is an issue, as in where the bulk is. Do you know what I mean?
How far away is that bulk bagger?
It's 6 inch away, it's quite far.
They're wary of it.
There's a lot more shot on this rig. Obviously this has got about 5 number 9s on it compared to like 5 number 10s.
Like none have inhaled it, but I reckon 6 or 7 now have approached it and backed off it.
What if I maybe lowered it in slower like this and
if it... Something's wrong.
You're very quick to not like this.
They're behaving differently though.
I think the movement looks great on our eye, but...
So this is good.
Yeah.
Maggots coming in. But something's definitely wrong. They're
Yeah,
not.
you're right. There's something
I think it's that bulk. Did you feel a fish then?
no.
One just brushed your line. They're like staying away from it.
So I'll just try hanging it, see if I get a bite and it hooks itself. I just hung it there, is that in shot?
Yeah,
Leave it,
Oh.
leave it, just leave it. If you could hang it and have bait falling around it, I think you'd have a great chance.
Here we go. No.
Nah, something not right.
They're behaving so different around this rig. Like they're deliberately swimming around it.
He's almost looking at the bulk,
Yeah, I
that
think
one.
it's the bulk.
I mean, look at him
Yeah.
eating the other maggots around it. There's
Should've-
F1s all around his rig.
Yeah.
You know, I can just hear Ringer saying and Matt saying like they're behaving different, something's not right. Is it that bulk? You know, we found that the bulk in last year's underwater when we was fishing on the bottom, same thing, they didn't like it. Clear conditions, they didn't like it. You had to have shot away, but not too far away so you don't see bites. Yeah, strange, but very, very interesting. You know, will they start to pick it up eventually if we make a few adjustments?
This one might. No. They're deliberately avoiding it, Andy, constantly.
This is what I would expect at this time of year though. I feel like, oh, it's too early for jigger. In the summer I think it'd be amazing.
You might get a roach. You feel a roach then?
No, I don't think they'll hook themselves, will they?
Yeah, but why do you think they're avoiding it though?
I don't know, it just doesn't work when it's
one.
cold. It needs to warm up as if the fish need to be a lot more
Oh,
active.
first one just gobbed it and spat it then.
I never felt anything.
So fast. Got it.
Second
Ooh.
one.
All right, Mr. Negative. Third one. Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
Got it? No.
This is making it look really hard.
I feel like, you know, if you were back on your other rig, Andy,
Yeah,
you'd have caught 2.
yeah.
But like, what I think is probably most interesting is you could put that jigger in and think there's none there,
Yeah.
and the screen's absolutely lifting with them. There's more there than, as many there as there's been at any time.
Do you think we're at the wrong depth and we need to pan the camera up and let him fish another 8 inch shallower?
No, I don't think it's depth. I think it's that bulk. I don't think they're like that big.
I'll just lower it back through, see if it, you know, come from high up.
It's not like there's none here.
You're right.
Well, you know your bulk, Andy?
Yeah.
Got him.
Got him?
Yeah, I got that right near my stop. As
Yeah.
it almost stopped.
Just as it virtually settled.
Yeah.
Would you ever move that bulk at all?
Yeah, sometimes I'd have it lower.
Wouldn't have it any higher though.
Well, yeah, sometimes, but normally I could split the bulk up so it weren't. I know that's something Kristian does a lot with his overshotted fishing.
Just to let you know that when Andy says Kristian, he's talking about Kristian Jones. Possibly, well, maybe not even possibly, probably without doubt, the best F1 shallow angler in the country. What he doesn't know about it isn't worth knowing.
So I've got 5 9s to play with. I'll play 2 down at the bottom and 3 up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like really.
Is that something though that you would do in your own fishing anyway?
Yeah, like one thing I learnt last year is splitting this up here is obviously like for deeper water it adds more stability to your rig rather than just having all your shot down here. You imagine I've got like a double bulk almost.
The idea of this jigger is that yes, you can create movement and you can search through different layers, but everything needs to be tight, and that's why it's so effective, because when it's tight, fish hook themselves, but they're not quite doing this at the minute. That last one come up and took it at the perfect time. As my maggots fell through, the fish were rising up, and it's that sort of presentation that you get from a lighter rig, and that's why I've had loads of days in the past where the light rig is brilliant and the jigger is rubbish, and vice versa. When it's warmer and the fish are more aggressive, they love the jigger and the light rig's just not as good.
I just don't think
The whole jigger concept.
It's not working, no. And don't ask me why, but they're not liking it. So I feel like we're higher now. We're not even seeing any fish.
No, there's not any.
Are you holding it up a bit higher at the minute?
Yeah.
You can go back down.
Yeah. That's it. That's a
The
better.
one I caught, my maggots were there.
Here we go.
Oh, got him. Got him.
Got him.
Yeah.
I felt like I lifted it
Yes.
into his mouth.
Yeah.
No, he sucked it in though, and
That
then
were
you
tiny.
lifted.
I went back to them tiny little movements.
The movement and then.
The timing.
Yeah. But it's, look.
I've sussed it now,
It's not-
Babby.
You sussed it.
I've sussed it, Babby.
Okay, well done.
Go on then, do it again this time.
You have a go. So you can see the size of the fish. Absolutely big, massive F1s, but I'm not convinced on that jigger. From the activity on the screen, I was thinking, yeah, jigger is going to be the way. There's loads of fish there. We're getting mugged off on that lighter rig, but over the past 10 years of fishing it, I've always thought jigger probably not right until the fish are really active, and that's the sort of vibe I'm getting from today. Is these fish probably not quite ready for it yet, even though fish activity on the screen's making us think that it's like summer, but we've got to remember the water temperature's cold and these things ain't as daft as what you think.
You can definitely be guilty of trying to force it when you're doing this sort of thing, and there's a bit of pressure on you, big crew, set dates, a venue booked, everyone's there to see this stuff work under the water, and the jigger, it just wasn't really performing. We went back to the standard sort of fixed shallow rig and what we doing? We've already done that, and back onto the jigger to try and make it work. And at this point, definitely feeling the pressure a little bit. We need to get a good film in the bag. We want to learn about the jigger. We want to show everyone at home what the jigger's all about, but we can't quite get it mastered.
Here we go. Oh! Jigged it straight out of his mouth.
This is what you want if you coming in.
It's gone higher now, is it? Yeah. Don't go too much higher, bagger, because we can't see it. That's better. Here we go.
There's a lot coming in now, mate. Get ready. Ooh. This is how we need it, see?
That bottom fish is the one. Not that one.
On the head, son. Little spells where they come in and then down, isn't there?
Mm.
Which is exactly what you'd expect.
I think because of the time of day, some are higher now. There we go. Oh. Wrong angle though, I think.
Mm.
Don't know whether like smaller movements or.
Go on.
Yes.
Got him.
Got him. No.
Never.
Where's the hook rate gone? Oh, could go.
Got him.
Yeah, he's got him.
Yes.
Yes.
Good angle it came in at.
Didn't really take that clean though, did we?
We're all right.
You know what I did then? I stopped moving it much and just did a little tiny
That's what
lift.
I don't know if you heard me, I said maybe littler movements would be better.
Cut.
So obviously there you can see I couldn't quite tell what had happened, whether the fish took it or whether I'd just hooked it under the chin or something. I went back to smaller little movements, not as aggressive, just little flicks, And there's something to be said about that. The way you flick your rig is really important. You know, if you flick too much or just little tiny movements, it's not right. You've got to know how the fish want to take it on the day. But like I say there, I couldn't quite see on camera. I might have hooked it under the chin. We ended up losing it at the net. But if it took it in the mouth and was just unlucky that it pinged off, then, you know, something might be in the way we're flicking the rig. So that's something to concentrate on now.
After the banded maggot had looked so good previously, we decided to give it another go on this rig to see if it had any effect while incorporating the small movements.
Oh,
It's like he's jigging it out of the way on purpose.
this is the world's unluckiest angler.
How many anglers have been fishing for 50 grand and moved it out of one's mouth on this method?
I don't want to think about it. There we go.
Like that.
I've done it again. Whilst movement's obviously amazing, timing is perhaps even more important. The amount of times he's just jigged it as one's about to take it, which is really frustrating watching the screen. But in real life, if I was fishing that peg or as Andy's fishing, he wouldn't know he'd done that. So you don't know how many times you've pulled it out of an F1's mouth, but it is actually probably far more than you think. There it is, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. Got him.
Got it?
Yes! Feels good, that, doesn't it? Oh, he's right camera.
Went round the back of the camera then, Andy.
No Good skills, brother. You could see pink elastic right in front at screen. You know what you were doing there? Felt nice.
Slowed it up.
Slow it up. Can I be dead honest with you?
Yeah.
You're moving it out of the mouth. Like the amount of fish that's about to eat it and you jig it, like
The movements need to be slower, if you know what I mean.
little bits,
Hard.
little bit steadier and leave it for a bit longer. Think you'd give yourself more chances. But do what you think, because we're on a roll here. This feels good.
No, it's just hard to like do such a minimal movement at 30 metres. To move your tip an inch is like.
But I don't think you need to move it minimal.
It's
I think
slower.
I think you need to leave it static a bit more. Do you?
I just think every movement has to be a bit slower. I think perhaps going forward, the movement, we need to vary it more. Like, he just moved it a little bit slower then and caught one. But aggressive movement also seems to attract them, but maybe not catch them. So maybe the right speed of movement is something.
Oh, we're in. It's there.
What's that?
Go on.
Got it, hasn't he?
Got it.
No, he's pulled it out.
No.
Let's let go, it's there. It's better though, look, that's better.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Yeah, looks better on screen. Look.
Got him.
Got him?
No, never felt anything.
Where's it gone then?
Do you know, they're not, it's almost like they know not to trap the bait and shut the mouth.
Like this one.
Watch. Go on. Oh, got him.
Got him. No,
see?
spat it.
What? But
Yeah.
it's,
Do you feel it?
No.
Oh.
there's 4?
What, we've been done this chuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of
Here we go.
your maggot.
Here we go. What's going on underneath? This one.
This one.
There, positive. Got
Got him.
Got him. It's gone the wrong way again.
You've got
it?
got him.
No.
No.
That's 5 that have had your bait in the
Yeah,
mouth.
he's done the classic
Go up.
slack.
I've tried a few things with this jigger now. I've tried a banded maggot, I've tried straight hooking 2 maggots. We've split the shot up on the actual jigger. But one noticeable thing is, yes, there's a lot of interest and they're looking at the bait, but if you go back to the start of the video, they were mugging me off, sucking the bait in confidently on that light rig. On this, they're coming having a look, but they're not actually sucking it in. So I'm not actually getting mugged off by this rig. I'm not actually getting the bites, whereas on the lighter rig, we was getting the bites. You know, 5 times the fish took me bait and I only seen 2 bites at the start. Yesterday that was. Today, we've picked this jigger up thinking it's going to be this magical rig, and actually, I'm still not convinced they like it. So, can we solve it? Can we solve it? Or is it just a case that jigger is not the answer at this time of year?
Jig it, bagger. There it is.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Stop it now.
Got. Oh. Ooh. So many in now.
Has that got it?
Got him.
Got him?
Nope. Trying to annoy him now. I'm going to go full circle. Like, when I've watched the best anglers at this style of fishing, like, you know, the likes of your Kristians and the younger anglers, Swan and people like that, they're very aggressive when they do this style of fishing. I feel like we just need to see if we can be more aggressive, flick it faster and almost annoy them onto the hook.
Well, that last chuck, 5 had it in the mouth and you didn't hook one.
Which tells me it can't be right because it's a self-hooking method.
Yeah.
So we're doing something wrong.
Ooh, he is cheeky. Got him. Got him? That is ridiculous.
First go, yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Nailed
This
it.
is what
You
they call the KJ jigger.
What did you say then?
This is what they call the KJ jigger.
What's the KJ jigger?
The Kristian Jones jigger.
Kristian Jones jigger.
A more aggressive jig, first drop in, and it's a fish on, so seems more effective, better fall, that aggressive strike. So if they do suck it in and you get your timing right, less chance of them getting away with it. But sustainability, nothing I've seen so far has been sustained.
One thing that I've learnt a lot watching the likes of Kristian and stuff, and I remember last year I actually went and sat behind him on a match myself just to see what he was doing, because he had it absolutely sussed on the overshotted rig, and he took that to this venue, Weston Pools, where you're not allowed overshotted, and he sort of put it into his jigger fishing. I remember him coming catching 200-300 pounds nearly every match for a spell, and we actually named it the KJ jigger.
KJ jigger.
Kristian Jones jigger.
Kristian Jones jigger.
Where his flick's really aggressive and he almost doesn't give him chance to reject the bait. Now, in my head, it was never right because your hook bait would just be constantly like this. But actually, underneath the water, your hook bait doesn't fall as aggressive as you think it does.
You got to get jiggy with it, brother.
If this starts working now, I'm just going to quit F1 fishing.
You completed it, wouldn't you?
I did that many years ago, Steve.
This one's coming. Yeah, he is. They definitely sense it, don't they?
I wonder if they can hear it, Steve.
Is that what noise it makes?
I don't know. Maybe the maggot's going. Wah,
Save
wah.
me. So that was another example, you know, that first 15-20 seconds.
That could have been straight back in and got one.
That's your amazing chance.
This is a chance now.
Yeah,
Got
it
all
is, yeah.
these.
He's
He's
gonna
going to get him. Going to get him. Going to get him. Got him.
Oh. He's going to get another chance now.
Yeah, he is. It's almost like
He's going to
they.
get him. He's going to not get him.
It's almost like they're attracted to the movement.
Yeah. They're just a bit slow, aren't they? Maybe time of year.
Yeah, but he's been in the water a minute. He'll get one.
Should have had 3.
Stop being so harsh. As anglers, we focus on things like hooks, feeding, how much you're feeding, what bait you're using, what float you're using, what shotting pattern you're using, but we never focus that much on movement. How did you move your rig? How did you jig your rig? And it's definitely becoming a thing over these 2 days that how that bait actually moves, and it's down to us as anglers to move it in a certain way. That influences what you catch, how many you hook, and how aggressively the fish suck it in. So movement is going to be a key factor of this film.
A lot more fish up here.
Yeah, there is. Time of day that as well.
Here we go.
Got him. Yes! That is better.
Yeah, is
I
it
don't think
annoying
you'd-
them? Yeah.
I don't think you'd have got that one how we were doing it.
I think the overshot it could be even better.
This is a thing. This is definitely a thing.
Exactly what we thought. Flicking it aggressive, the fish are attracted to it. The first time it actually sucked it into its mouth, we've nailed it, and it's a great big F1. So definitely on something here. I think this is the one.
Oh, he's a fat one.
You're almost hooking them rather than waiting them to hook you.
It's a bit of an opportunist thing. It's basically having a machine gun rather than a shotgun. It is though. You're just going grrrr, rather than going pang every time something moves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a great analogy, that, Matthew.
Thank you. I appreciate your appreciation of my analogy. They're in now, aren't they?
Yeah. Got still an element of luck. I don't care what anyone says. Just in, you know when you jig.
Yeah.
Like if he'd jigged a split second later, then he catches that.
Yeah, yeah. Even the first one that came in again, like you always
But obviously,
said.
you're massively increasing your chances of hooking one.
Sometimes movement is great. You can jig it and a fish loves it and comes and eats it. Sometimes the fish is about to eat it and you can jig it and the fish comes and misses it. You like go?
Here we go.
Got him. Got him? Yes. Perfect.
Top lift him.
Definitely more effective for hookups, the speed of that jigging bagger.
Yeah, I sort of like tried to flick it, let it come back and stop, flick it, but then as soon as I changed it to faster again, I caught it within seconds, whether that was a coincidence, but I think the art of it is the way you flick it, but I don't know what's best at the minute.
Well done, mate. That's so much better.
It's a lot more, I know it is because I've seen it before as well, like when I've watched like Kristian fish the overshotted rig, I know how aggressive he is with it, and I just know if he was sat here now he'd be catching more because my flicking technique's not right. It's not something I've sort of like loved doing in the past, but I know like fishing's progressing and the effectiveness of it, especially when yesterday we was missing bites that are not even showing up on my float, and then today you change from like flicking it slow and trying to keep it there and they're getting too much opportunity to spit it out. With this, the speed is everything, and I just know if you was, you know, if say like Chris was sat here for example now.
Do you think he would be catching more than you?
I do, I think he would, and I think maybe an overshotted rig could be even better than the jigger.
Why ring him, see if he'll come down?
What, and get him on here?
Can we get him on?
I'd love to see
If he'll
it
come.
because there's obviously far more to it than I ever realised. You know, I'll take my hat off. Like, it's like any method. Obviously, the best take it to a new level.
Shall I ring him and see if he fancies it?
I'd love to see him fish if we can get him on. Yeah, it'd be mint. I think we genuinely would see the overshotted rig be better.
Let me ring him. He might not be able to do it, but
To be honest, we just need someone better than what we got.
I'll openly admit I'm no expert at this because I'd shy away from it.
I know it's showing.
Hey, wait till you get on.
now then, love, how we diddling?
I'm all good at you.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm at Weston. We're doing underwater
Right.
on Claypit,
Yeah.
shallow fishing.
Yeah, you catching.
We are catching, but I reckon Ringer says there could be more to be
I
caught.
think there's more to this overshotting and jigger fishing than I actually thought. And we're getting a disaster class from Bennett on the box.
Yeah, I've tried to show him how to do it. He's clueless to be fair. just doesn't do it right at all, but he just won't listen.
His words were, just now, in a bit of an interview on camera, if Kristian Jones was sat here, he'd be catching more.
Right, do you reckon?
So well, what are you doing today? Because my proposal to you is, I mean, how far away do you live from here? Half an hour?
Yeah, about half an hour, yeah.
Do you fancy coming and having a little go?
Go on then, I'll come and have a go. I'm only at home doing rigs anyway, so I might as well come and show him how it's done.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll come.
All right.
If it was half an hour, I'll be down.
All right.
So far, the fishing's been really, really interesting. But Andy, of his own admission, particularly the jig, he doesn't enjoy the jigger as much as maybe he should, so he doesn't work as hard at it. So bringing Kristian in, who loves shallow fishing for F1s, has taken things to a whole new level, is going to show how good Andy is. Because let's be honest, Andy's top class, but Kristian's maybe took it to another level, particularly with the overshotted rig.
Kristian's the golden boy. He is the master at the overshotted rig. I know he's tweaked it himself a lot. He's got his own way of doing it. He's really developed it, and his results on countrywide venues on that method are second to absolutely no one. So if there's someone you want to watch on this method while the underwater camera's in, it's Kristian Jones.
the overshotted rig, I think, is the ultimate rig. So I really want to get on and see if it's going to make a difference. Obviously, I know Andy isn't a massive fan of the overshotted rig, but I think it is the best way. You need to be quite aggressive with it. You need to flick quite aggressive, feed quite aggressive, and I hope that it's going to catch more fish and we're going to, you know, not have as many fish sort of mug you off and get away with it.
The overshotted rig has caused quite a stir in the match fishing world in recent years. A lot of anglers believe it's not proper fishing. It's actually been banned from several fisheries and in a lot of big events as well. And there's even been bare knuckle fights in fishery car parks and bloody deaths on the... Look, I'm only kidding about the last one, but it will be interesting to see how it performs while the camera's down there.
Obviously there's a little bit of pressure with the guys watching me, but the main pressure for me is going to be, is the rig working? I want to know, does it work the way I think it works, and is the sort of theories I've got on it correct? So fingers crossed it will go to plan, and the pressure will go away once I've got 3 or 4 big F1s in the net.
So for those that don't know, an overshotted rig is basically adding more shot to your float so it sinks, and the best way to do this is use the lightest possible float for that situation. You know, you don't want, say, 1/2 gram float and try and overshot that, because you're gonna have way too much shot on your line. All you're trying to do is keep your line tight from your hook bait to your tip, and what you're getting is that fall that we now know the fish love. They love that movement, but every time they grab your hook bait, because you're constantly flicking it, you're gonna catch the fish. So using a tiny, tiny little dibber, overshotting, put your tip in the water, and as you flick it up, you've got 2 advantages there. It keeps your rig nice and stable, but also, whether it's a good or a bad thing at this time of year, you're getting that little bit of noise every time the tip on actually flicks the water.
Right then, Chris, what are you going in with? What's your theory?
Right, so obviously I personally believe that the overshotted rig is the best way of catching these fish, especially on a big deep lake like this. Got wind blowing at us, getting all that line under the water, it's going to make a big difference, I think, to obviously keeping everything stable, but also just hooking the fish. And I believe, obviously, being quite aggressive with it now, which is what I'm going to try and show, will get less of them fish coming in, taking the bait and then spitting it out. So the rig itself is really important, and there's a few things I've learned over the years, and I've tweaked it to get it what I think is now pretty close to the perfect setup for this style of fishing. Now the float's probably one of the most important things. I've got an inline Richie Wilson dibber, so the line goes all the way through the body. That helps for 2 things. Stops you getting into tangles, it doesn't wrap over as you're shipping out. You might notice I've got the float quite close to my pole tip, which again is really important. But one of them problems is when you have the float so close to your pole tip is it's going to wrap around the pole tip a little bit if you have like a side eye or anything like that. So that inline does help with that. But also, not having a side eye, it helps keep the rig really straight. You know, all the rig's in line and it's going to flick up nice and straight, which again I've already touched on is really important. And then I've just got 017 main line, that's a Guru N gauge, and an 013 hook length. And then my shotting pattern, I've got varying amounts of bolts depending on how deep I'm fishing. 3 number 10s for every foot of water basically. So today we're fishing in 4 foot and I've got 4 bolts for 3 number 10s. And then the hook, that's another thing that's really important. You want a nice big hook that's going to set the hook nice. It's a self-hooking method. It's really important that your hook, you know, does self-hook the fish. So 16 Super LWG just seems to be the perfect one for me. Now, the big thing for me is to feed before you ship out, because I don't know if you've noticed throughout the rest of this, the best chance if you're going to catch a quick fish is to go out and get it straight away before, you know, you spooked any fish with your rig in the water. So I always feed before I ship out, get out, and then literally, hopefully now, you'll be able to see this probably better than me, but there'll be some fish in the peg. So let it settle up. Oh, I've had a roach there straight away, so I think that might have took that on the drop.
Took it before it got on camera?
Yeah, it took that straight away on the drop, so obviously I know there's a few roach in the peg anyway.
I feel like I'm at school again. Like none of us have said out, we're just listening to it. It stands out so much, the attention to detail that Kristian pays when it comes to his rig, and a part of it that I found really interesting was the inline flow, preventing tangles, everything's super straight, and it's also ridiculously durable when you're catching massive numbers of these fish and catching big weights on it. And it's something that we didn't have in our float range, was an inline dibber style float. So literally driving out of the gates of the Claypit, I'm on the phone to Roon saying, look, Kristian just come down, he suggested this is what he uses. We really need to get one sorted out so that everyone can enjoy it from us too, and that's where the inline cookie XS came from. Beautiful little float, there's loads of different sizes in them to do whatever you want with, but for the overshotted rig, it's going to be absolutely deadly.
Good positioning.
It's right where it wants to be, yeah.
Whacks his pole.
Oh, that's nearly caught the skimmer.
Whacking his pole.
Has he got that?
No.
Oh, he's close to it, wasn't he?
He's looking at me.
Yeah.
So just keep flicking that rig, quite aggressive. So eventually we should hopefully have one pick the hook bait up and see if...
Got it.
Has one mugged me off again? Yes. You're joking.
We're smelling it.
See, you know, obviously we believe that this rig hooks the majority of the fish. It just proves that, well, there you go.
It's fouled it. I reckon it's under the wing.
Yeah.
We think that's foul, look.
Have I fouled it?
Yeah,
I think so.
Felt okay, to be fair. It seemed to, if anything, it seemed to come up in the water when I...
Yeah, it might have done. It might have done.
It might be a carp.
Oh, it's going.
Don't lose your first fish.
Oh no, I've got to try and get this. So it could be a foul up carp, is what you're telling me.
First fish, it's foul hooked, and like people watching this thinking that's terrible, but it happens. You get a lot of fish feeding up in the water, you are going to foul an odd one, so it's just a fact of life, but let's see how he gets on in the long run, so to speak.
You hook him and I'll play him.
Come on lads, first time in front of the cameras, be nice, he's just started.
Oh, is that round the camera again? Oh, I've lost it.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, I've lost it.
Oh.
But there you go, I've got a scale on the up.
Have you got Rob Swan's number?
So, so I've come down to try and help him out, show him about this overshotted rig, and all the three of them are doing is giving me a load of stick in the tent. Feel like I've been a bit stitched up here, to be fair.
What's there? What's there? Go on.
In my head, that's the only way. When a fish takes the bait, you're going to try to hook it. But I'm probably getting mugged off again as they say this.
No!
You're joking. That is
rested on
crazy.
his top lip.
That is unbelievable. So looking at that now, I don't have a clue how I didn't hook that fish. Like, it looked like it had in its mouth, it looked like it sucked it in. It did actually have a few goes at it as well. So it shows that even on the overshotted rig, you're not going to get everyone.
It's working well. It's not. It's flicking up nice. They're not actively chasing your hook bait. There's fish in the peg, but they're not eating everything.
Yeah. I think the most important thing for me would be like when the fish do suck the bait in, are we hooking him? That'd be the thing that I want to know. So I don't personally think you get done very often on this rig. I'd like to believe that is the case as well. So I always think, you know, 8 or 9 fish out of 10 you're going to catch on this rig. And that's sort of achieved by, one, the flick, what I talked about, being nice and straight and nice and aggressive, but also the tightness of the rig, which is often achieved best by, you know, how you shot your rig. So on this particular rig, I've got a few little bolts spread out through the rig just to keep that line tight, but without having all the weight down near the hook, so it's going to bomb it down. So getting that correct and combining it with good feeding and, you know, that regular flicking, you're onto a winner, and you're going to catch lots of these F1s and sort of stack the odds in your favour of hooking them right in the top lip where you want them.
Carp.
It wanted it. He missed it.
He wafted it all over the place,
Yeah,
didn't he?
he moved it about. That's the first one that's gone for it though.
Got it.
Got it.
Someone take that.
Yes.
That's the first one that's realistically took your rig properly.
And I've hooked it in the mouth.
There's a lot of fish there, but they're not darting for your hook bait, but I don't think they're scared of it either. I think you maybe, if anything, you'd hid you a bit too close to the camera, but you can't really go any further away, so you won't see.
See, what I've noticed there straight away was there is a bit of a delay between you seeing that I've had the bite and me hooking the fish.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like that's just purely down to the depth. I feel like when your rig's that long, there always is going to be that little bit of a delay. And literally, I felt that little pluck, And as I lifted back up, I almost felt like I struck into that fish then, which is, I think,
Yeah, I think you did.
I think that's what's so good about this regular lifting and dropping quite aggressively. Sometimes them fish aren't hooking themselves, we're hooking the fish, do you know what I mean, by actually striking. So
That's the power of the overshotted rig. You're imparting that movement, but everything's tight all the time. The little inline dibber below the surface, so there's always that tension of the rig, the water resistance as it falls back down, and when that fish sucks in the bait, Chris is picking up the rig, not even knowing the fish has got the bait in its mouth, and he's hooking it. So it's the machine gun theory. You're just walloping into them without even seeing a bite.
I think what's become apparent really quickly is how aggressive Kristian is with that flick of the pole top. It's almost like a mini strike, but he's only moving the hook bait sort of an inch, maybe 2 inches max. So if a fish does suck the hook bait in, because he's moving it constantly, he's striking the hook into the top lip, which is like perfection. So I can see straight away why the overshotted rig is so effective.
Just getting in.
There's one there.
He's gone up to look for it.
that in position.
Can you see it, boys?
Has he got one already?
There you go.
Got one.
Yeah, took it right. Couldn't quite see it. We saw the fish bolt.
But that's exactly how I'd want it to be. Like when it's right, I would want to go out and catch it pretty fast. And then if I feel like if I'm having to wait, I'm probably on the wrong rig and at the wrong depth. So that wasn't a great one for you guys watching at home, but it was a great example of how effective that rig is and how quick it can be when you get it right. So obviously I talked about feeding before you ship out, that being massively important, and you're seeing that perfectly there. Fed before I shipped out, flicked it in, then fish have come to intercept them maggots, and I've caught one on the drop. Perfect way of catching fish, that.
They've come back in now. There's a lot of fish there as if like they've come in to see what the commotion was.
Yeah.
Where you think you'd hook a fish and they all scatter, if anything,
The more you
coming
catch,
back.
the more it brings back.
It's full of them now, mate.
Really?
Honestly, I feel like I'm at the deep. Fish get hooked and caught so much on these venues, it does make you wonder if they know that when that fish bolts out and it's hooked, if that's actually a safe time to come in, dash in and eat.
Again, what I'd be looking for with this rig again is where the fish are hooked, the hook hold of the fish. Again, that's sort of in the top lip, sort of towards the side, but it's not hooked deep. So again, you know that your presentation's right, you're at about the right depth. Lovely F1. Right, I've settled in now, I've had a couple of fish, let's get another one.
was I getting done on the jigger a lot?
Oh, got it, yes.
His conversion rate's good.
Yeah, very good. They're not mugging him off.
Because his jig's faster.
Yeah,
There were about 8 had it in the mouth that time before you upped one.
No, there won't have been.
There's a lot more fish than when I was on the box, to be fair.
Yeah. Better feeding, that'll be what it is. I'm joking with Andy there about the feeding, but feeding actually is probably the most important part of this. You know, the rig is very important, but if you're not feeding and feeding regular and nice and aggressive through the day, you're never going to get that competition in your peg to begin with. So I'd always say to people, don't ever be scared of feeding, especially with baits like maggots and casters, what we tend to fish with. Constantly feeding, nice and aggressive, that is going to be the best way to drag as many fish in your peg as possible and catch as many as you can in a short period of time.
How important do you think the rig is? Because like obviously that rig that you've got there, I've never seen out like it before with little bulks of, what are they, cubes or shot all the way up?
So it's just number 10 microcubes basically, and I just find that size of shot's about right just by experimentation. Maybe it's just confidence more than anything, but
Why have you got so many little blocks of them all the way up the rig?
It's just to do with the depth of water. So I would normally go every foot of water I'll have sort of one bulk, so up to a foot I'll have one bulk, then 2 foot maybe 2 bulks, and we're fishing 4 foot today, so I've got 4 bulks. And I've just personally found that sort of anything from 2 to 4 number 10s is best, but because it's quite a big lake that we're fishing, generally sort of go towards a few more than less.
Kristian's conversion rate is pretty impressive. It's literally been done once. It's pretty much a fish every single drop in now. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. The aggressiveness of the flick and the overshotted rig being fished correctly it's not as simple as just putting like a treble A shot on a pole rig and keep flicking it. That isn't going to work. You've got to get your shot in right as well. So a combination of everything coming together and the efficiency is massively increased.
You got another one?
You got another?
I saw it bolt. The maggots didn't come into shot.
That's exactly like now. It's like everything feels right, the depth feels right, and I'd be well happy with that now. So as you can see, I'm a bit more chilled out there. Obviously, when I first got on the box, I've got Steve, Matt, Andy all watching me, and there was a bit of pressure on me to catch. Obviously, I sort of said that I was going to catch a lot on that rig, and at first it didn't look as good as it does now, so definitely feel a bit more confident, and I feel like I'm sort of starting to show now why it is so good, this method, what I wanted to show.
It were nice for a little period just to leave Chris to it, because as you can see there, he's got one before the bait even gets in to the camera, and that's how you catch massive weights on this rig.
Definitely light's faded a bit.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Got him.
Got him.
Got him.
got him?
Oh. Oh, he's got him.
Got him.
Oh, thought you'd been done.
Thought he'd done you.
So have I been done at all yet?
No, not maybe,
Right at the start, maybe once.
Right.
but not 100%.
I thought that one had got you then, but it hadn't. If there's ever been a time to work backwards on underwater, and it doesn't happen very often, this is it. We've got what we believe is the ultimate rig with the best angler on the box to do it, but can we take what he's showing us now and apply it to maybe one of the other rigs that we've used, the jigger, for example, because if the overshot's banned, I want to know how to get the best from it on my jigger rig.
Right, so we'll do the jigger, yeah? Have a go on the jigger, because I just want to confirm that it's more the flick than the rig. I'm not saying the rig, I know this is not going to be as stable as your overshotted rig, but I think on a venue like this where the overshotted rig's banned, this is how you'd have to fish.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, try and catch one on this. Your flick is different to mine because you're a lot more aggressive, and I think that's the most important thing here.
Yeah, well obviously at Weston as well, this would be how you'd have to fish on this lake, so
Yeah.
it's good to have a go on this and see is it as effective, so I'll ship that out now.
So the reason why I want him to have a go on the jigger is because certain venues you're not going to be allowed an overshotted rig, and you have to fish with a float that is actually floating. So jigger is free running, as long as your stop sits on top of your jigger and it doesn't sink the rig, you are allowed it. So it's sort of like getting around the rules, if you like. You're fishing well within the rules, but here at Weston Pools, no overshotting, but you can fish a jigger. So I want to see if he can imitate exactly what he's doing on the overshotted rig with a jigger.
I feel like the bolt's coming down faster with this.
Yeah. Do you like that or
not-
not?
no, I don't
No, I
like
don't like that either, but I'm not an expert at this. Oh,
The bulk's almost.
And I think that's from his tip being underwater stabilises everything, whereas with this, sort of-
because he's obviously flicking more aggressive, you mean?
yeah, or there's too much shot down the rig and it's dragging it down.
Got him. Got him.
No, it's ejected it because there was too much slack.
Too much slack. Chris, do us a favour, because what's happening here, it's not working the same as your jigger. Because your rig's under the water
This is overshot.
on your overshotted rig, I think it's a lot more stable. With this, your bulk's dropping through before your hook bait,
Yeah.
and your hook bait and your bulk sometimes are parallel in the water, and you've been done once on this already.
Already, yeah.
And it's because you had too much slack in the rig.
Yeah.
Oh,
can-
you got. Oh,
I can feel, obviously, with the wind blowing at us as well, I can see that there's a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
As you bring my rig out the water, it just creates that little bit of slack as you bring your line up, which you weren't getting on that overshotted rig.
Just pull it in and put like, just try 2 number 9s as your bottom bulk. You know, just make like a double bulk, see if that keeps it straighter.
when Kristian switched to the jigger, the first thing that's apparent is the bulk is sinking faster than the hook bait. To explain further, basically the hook bait's level with the bulk quite a lot, which gives the fish a lot of slack. And the one thing that's been constant throughout this is everything needs to be tight. So straight away, I'm thinking he needs to split the bulk and use his shotting pattern that he was used on the overshotted to see if that works on the jigger. Because if it does, then you're also ruling out the problem of the overshotted rig being banned on some venues and not being able to use it. If you can replicate that with a jigger, then that's the holy grail.
There's
Shots.
Bait's
two
low,
on the
low, low, low.
There it is, there it is.
There. Got
Oh.
it, got it, got it, got to have it.
No, it's not in it.
It's not in his mouth, no. It's there. It's better though.
Sitting straight in there.
Yeah. It's not going above so much.
Miles better.
Yeah. Doesn't he want to suck it in?
Not as
Do also
obtrusive
feel like the
either.
wind's dropped a little bit since we've changed the shotting pattern as well, though.
It's working a lot better though. Your bulk's not dropping below your hook bait. Your rig's a lot straighter now.
Got him.
I've got that.
Got him?
Got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first one that actually sucked it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. And I think that's all down to his rig being straight.
It is,
Good,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's tiny details
Yeah, it's shot.
make a huge difference. Things I've never even thought about before.
You can actually see it working on there as well.
As soon as Kristian changed the shotting pattern to how he fishes the overshotted, straight away you could see everything's a lot tighter. Tighter is the key as far as I'm concerned. First fish that sucked it in, he's hooked it. Are we onto something?
We've moved the bulk up a little bit, spread it into sort of two bulks, similar to what I do on the overshotted rig, and straight away I've got a nice straight fall of the bait and I've caught one. This is the beauty of these underwater films. We're seeing how these things are making a difference and how to catch more fish.
It's amazing to think though that you could fish with that bulk and think there was virtually no fish there, change your rig and have a great big F1 every chuck.
Yeah. And there it is again.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is silly.
Now you split the shotting up, voila, it's perfect. You're getting that straight presentation, the fish can't eject it, and that's why almost all my style of fishing in the summer, when it's really, really solid with loads of fish there, it's just unbeatable rig, it's unbeatable presentation. Jigger and overshotted have took F1 fishing to another level really.
What's been magic for me is the fact that, and I shouldn't really be saying this, there's not been a wonder hook or an additive, or there's not that secret in this kind of fishing. It's all been about something we dwell on so much in angling, and that's presentation. And if you get that right, that magical word presentation, when a fish sucks in that hook bait that's presented properly to it, it ends up in your net. He's so consistent. He's
Got that one, hasn't he?
Never, he's not getting ejected.
That's why I can't beat him.
Only you can, bagger. I give up.
So being on this underwater has been absolutely brilliant for me. Obviously I wanted to come and test that overshotted rig. I wanted to test my theories and see if it was right, and I think it pretty was bang on, to be fair. What I thought was going to happen in terms of, I could see my hook bait flicking up nicely, I was catching the fish when they sucked it in. But what I wasn't expecting, and something that I've really learnt massively, was that jigger and how you can transfer what you know about the overshotted rig onto that jigger. So when you come into venues like this and you're not allowed to overshot your rig, you can find, you know, a similar thing with that jigger. And I think that's going to transform not only my fishing, but a lot of the anglers who watch this video's fishing when they're going out using a jigger. I just think it's going to put so many more fish in people's nets, and I think that's the beauty of this underwater footage and exactly why films like this are so good. So love to come back and have another go at this with other methods and see what else there is to learn.
Is that a big one to finish?
I'm hoping so. Feels a good in. Yeah, it's
Oh,
a nice
yes.
one.
Well done.
It's them two things for me. Movement is key. The harder you work, the more you'll get rewarded. Them little lifts and drops all the time will get you more bites and more indications. And then shotting patterns, presentation, the way you present your shotting. If you have it as a bulk, it's not going to work the same. Spread it out, you could be on a fisher chuck. So two things there to think about. I guarantee, get them right, you'll catch more fish.
Something I've long been an advocate of is the edge is in the detail. By that I mean there's no miracles, there's not a miracle rig, but those little tweaks and changes. So in this instance, on this underwater project, the shotting pattern, the aggressiveness of the flick, they all make a huge difference when added together. So if I could give one message to people watching this, is don't be afraid to change. And analyse those key details, those little things, make those tweaks, because they can make a huge difference to your fishing.
Right, so that's a nice F1 to finish the day. Proper big old Claypit F1, which are really crafty, you know, and hard to catch, and it just proves why you need to, you know, tweak the rigs like we have done. And it's really worked well, hasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, for me personally, I have to admit, I've always known about F1 shallow fishing, but I've not given it the thought that it deserves, and I'm not perhaps given the methods the credit. The attention to detail is next level, and I wouldn't have believed, I hadn't seen this, how little tiny tweaks of shotting patterns, and now that sort of lifting, the aggressiveness of it, what a difference that can make. People have said to me it's all about the lift, the twitch, whatever you want to call it, the jig, and I've always dismissed it, but today's opened my eyes.
I have a little bit as well. Like, I've fished for F1s for 20 years, and the last 2 or 3 years I've been a bit stubborn to change, and I think this is just how it's evolved, and it's that hook to bite ratio. You don't miss, they're not giving them any chances to miss out on it, and we've proved it today, and I think that's why it's such a deadly rig. You know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you want to stay at the top of the game, you've got to evolve with the times, and I'm just happy that I've had the opportunity to sit in the tent, see how it works and how deadly it is.
Look, it's controversial. It's been spoke about for the last couple of years on social media, and we've just sat in front of underwater cameras and proved exactly why it's so effective, and then applied it to a jigger as well. It's there for everyone to see.
And show them how to do it as well.
Yeah. And guess what you get for coming on Gurus Underwater, Chris?
Go on.
You get to buy the beers later.
Sound, I don't mind, Let's go.